Mourning a broken friendship is not unusual. In this video, I'm simply reminding you that you are not overly sensitive, you're not wrong, you're not weird, and you're not lame for mourning the loss of a friendship. I relate to this topic all too well. More than I would like to, actually. Because growing up, I held all of my friendships on such a high pedestal. I put so much trust in my friendships. I felt loved. I felt valuable in my group of friends. I felt needed in my group of friends. I felt comfort in my group of friends. Certain people in my life brought sides out of me that needed to come out, a more feistier side of me. I was so shy growing up. I never talked in school, like ever. People would literally come up to me and tap me on the shoulder and say, "Hey, do you talk?" That was like my thing. I never talked. So having friends took me out of my shell, made me more confident in myself, made me more social. I put a lot of my personal development on my friends. I gave them the credit, a lot of the credit, for me being the person that I am today. So when you lose a friendship, when you lose someone that's been in your life for years and years and years, it's not easy. Whether you are the one in the right or the wrong. If you're like me, you get in a disagreement with someone, you have an argument with someone, and y'all get back cool the next day because it's not that deep. I grew up around my brother and seeing my brother fist fight his homeboys, literally over video games, over chicken. Young guys fight about the craziest things on the planet. And every time I would think that they would never be friends again. And then the next week, his friends will be right back over our house playing video games again. So in my mind, me seeing that happen for years and years, I had it programmed that me and my friends can go through whatever, but we'll always be in each other's lives. Now, everyone is raised differently. Everyone has a different level and understanding of loyalty and friendship. My loyalty had no bounds. My loyalty had no bounds. I would defend someone. I would fight for someone. I would have somebody's back. I would be of service to someone for as long as I known them. If it was my choice. But as we get older, we develop and evolve into more unique human beings. And we find ourselves to be unaligned with people we thought we would always relate to. We find ourselves growing apart from people we thought would be our equivalent forever. We find ourselves not agreeing with with certain people's lifestyles, their decisions, the way they talk to us, the way they treat us now, what type of friend they are to us. Certain things can draw people apart. And without true love, true loyalty, and accountability and communication, friendships can wither away just like a relationship. In my eyes, every relationship I've ever had in my life, I felt like it was worth a conversation, at least. I felt like it was worth a conversation. But sometimes people are not ready for that level of accountability. They're not ready to look you in the eyes and say, I messed up. Yeah, I said this about you behind your back, but this is why I said it. Like, it's okay. Like, the action is okay. I just want to know, can we get through this? But instead of having a conversation, you'd rather play the victim and antagonize me. Make me the bad guy of your story. You'd rather paint me to be the big bad wolf than poke your chest out, look me in the face, have a conversation with me, be real with me, so we can move on. I decided that I was not going to give my loyalty, to give my love and my energy to people who would not apologize to me. If we get into an argument and it got a little bit out of control, I was always the one to go and apologize. I was always the one to text somebody's phone and take accountability for my actions. I was always the one. I've never received an apology from anyone I've known. When it came to the turbulence of our friendship. And I told myself, I'm not spending my energy on people that cannot put their pride down for 2 seconds, humble themselves for 2 seconds to fight for a friendship with me. If I'm such a burden, I'll leave. I will remove myself. But even then, even taking myself out the situation, it didn't solve everything for me. It just made me more mad. It made me more upset that we couldn't talk. We couldn't have a conversation to save over 15 to 20 years of friendship. We're not that strong. We're not that mature. I reach out to you. You leave me on red. Okay, you won. Oh, you left me on red. You left me on red. You won. You good. You happy? The ending of a friendship can be confusing. It can be painful. It can be hurtful. It can be infuriating. Your emotions may go up and down every other day about this person. First, it's, you know what? I'm just going to love them from a distance. I just want them to do good. I want them to be successful. They just can't be around me. And then the next day is, I can't believe I had this person around me. I can't believe I ever did anything for this person. I can't believe I was ever even there for this person. I'm literally mad at myself for being who I was to that person. Mourning a broken friendship is not unusual. It's not talked about enough, in my opinion. It's not understood enough. We have to understand the lingering pain and trauma that does to people, that does to us. We have to understand how that can warp our perception of friendships and of other people that had nothing to do with that situation. We have to ask ourselves, am I avoiding meeting new people because I'm still scorned from that friendship? Am I avoiding opening myself up to new people because I'm still scorned from that friendship? Am I now a antisocial hermit because I'm still scorned from that friendship? We really have to look within ourselves and ask ourselves, am I still responding to trauma from that broken friendship? So not only is mourning a broken friendship not unusual at all, but it's a very serious topic. It's a overlooked topic. The same exact way people can be scared to love again after experiencing heartbreak is the same type of pain and trauma we can perpetuate after experience a friendship breakup. Having spiritually rich, confident, progressive, supportive, loving people around you is unmatched. I'm going to tell you a quick story. Growing up, I had a certain group of friends that I literally thought would be in my life forever. I thought we were soul mates. We were each other's equivalent, right? We all complimented each other. We all had fun together. We all had our different talents. Like, I absolutely adored and loved my friends. But as we got older, feelings started to change. Support started to dwindle. Feelings and energies of envy and jealousy started to arise in certain females around me. I ended up with only, a handful of the people that I thought would be in my life. I'm lucky to even count my friends on one hand. I'm lucky. I lost so many people in my life from the ages 26 to 30. It's kind of crazy to me. Like, when I think back on everything that I had to walk away from, and that was not easy to walk away from, so not easy that I've even reached out to certain people to have a conversation, to reconcile, to understand their perspective, and the universe did not allow it to happen. And instead of being confused and constantly thinking about that and thinking how I'm going to turn up on these people and do better than these people and, subconsciously compete with these people, I had to just realize that I'm in pain. I'm in pain. I don't know if this is survivor's remorse or what. I have guilt. I want to express myself. I want to give somebody closure that I fell out with. I want to have a conversation, but for some reason, the universe, God, just keeps blocking those doors. And I had to stop resisting because I knew for years This is nothing sudden. I knew for at least 8 years that certain people were just simply not going to make it with me. I knew that. I knew they weren't going to make it to a certain new level of my life. I just didn't know which one, and I didn't know how it was going to happen. But what it did, I fought for it. I really did. And I'm not ashamed to say that because I'm a damn good friend. I'm a damn good friend, and I will never change that. I will never change that. I will always have my heart open for new relationships and new friendships. I'm not afraid to be hurt by a female in a platonic relationship. I know myself. I have boundaries. I have nothing to be afraid of. My heart is open, but my boundaries are in place now. I will never allow my friendships to go haywire the way I let my last ones did. I will never allow people to take advantage of me, to feel entitled to my resources and my blessings. I will never give people the privilege of throwing shade at me or not including me in something or trying to make me feel some type of way and have the nerve to come back around me and then to ask me for something, to throw subliminal shots online about something that involves me, and then have the nerve to come around me and then ask me for something. I learned so much about how to love myself properly, how to respect myself, how to honor and build my self-esteem. Some friendships, I had to just come into acceptance that there is literally no room in my life today for these people. As much as I think back at the old times, how fun the old times were and our old dynamic, I can't help but to accept that literally there is no room for certain people in my life today. There's no room. It wouldn't have worked anyway. It wouldn't have worked anyway. But did I want it to work? Of course I did. I thought we were supposed to fight and make up. You know? I didn't know that one time someone was going to start competing with me. I didn't know that. I'm not built like that. I'm not wired like that. So certain things that I had to accept, yes, it hurt my feelings, but I understand that mourning a broken friendship is not unusual. It's very common. And it's so common that I want to lean into these feelings within myself. I want to constantly reevaluate how I feel today versus how I felt last week. Am I evolving? Do I have love in my heart or do I still have animosity and confusion? I'm studying my process. I'm studying my growth. I'm being patient with myself. I'm giving myself grace. Sometimes I want the best for certain people. Sometimes I want to stunt on certain people. But I'm giving myself grace to heal from these low vibrational emotions. I only want to express love. That's the goal. I only want to express love. I don't want a cold heart. I don't want a closed off heart. I don't want to be hesitant about meeting new women and building new relationships. I'm not going to allow myself to operate in that way. So just understand that the same way you may react long term, like a trauma response from a breakup, from like your boyfriend or your girlfriend, you could do the same thing from the breakup of a friendship. I know sometimes it may be embarrassing to talk about how sad you are that you and someone are not friends anymore, because you're really supposed to be above it, quote unquote. You're supposed to be doing better than them, quote unquote, right? You're supposed to stun on them and leave them in the dust and be unbothered and cut everyone off. And yeah, that's what the internet portrays it to be. But realistically, it's hurtful. It's infuriating. It's confusing. It's painful to have to cut someone off. It's painful to not get a response. It's painful. Right? So if you realize that you have a negative connotation about friends, all because you had one negative experience, or a few, maybe you have 5, maybe you had 10. I probably had 10 too. If you realize that you're responding negatively years later from those hurtful experiences, I want you to do something today. I want you to tell yourself, you are love. You are made from love. You pray for your enemies. You pray for people who turned on you that should have understood you. You pray for people that talked about you behind your back when they should have been defending you. You pray for their confidence because clearly they're lacking it. You pray for their self-esteem. You pray for their heart because clearly they were hurting long before you even realized. Pray for these people. Our subconscious only knows us. Our subconscious doesn't recognize anything outside of us. So if we speak negatively and we still have all this animosity, we will perpetuate those same emotions and feelings and experiences in our lives over and over again. And I promise you, it will not stop until you control those thoughts. You have to learn how to speak love on other people's lives. You have to learn how to forgive. You have to move on. Because you not moving on and making new friends is not hurting anyone but you. You not forgiving the people that hurt you, so you're scared to go on dates and put your heart out again, is not hurting anyone but you. We have to be love in order to attract love. And I understand it's a painful process, but we can do it. It just takes persistence every single day, prayers and affirmations. That's it. Don't let your mind go crazy. Take yourself out of this toxic karmic loop. Free your mind. God took these people out of your life for a reason, and you know the reason. Don't even act like you forgot. You know the reason. Forgive yourself for staying in those toxic friendships for that long, thinking that you are still supposed to cater to people who are being toxic to you. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for having no boundaries. Forgive yourself for having a lack of self-esteem. Forgive yourself for fighting for people that would not and never planned to fight for you. It's okay. We all experience something like that in our lives that we learn from. That makes us a little bit more harder so we can build up certain boundaries in our lives that are absolutely necessary. Forgive them and forgive yourself. And remember, mourning a broken friendship is not unusual. But just remember that you don't have to mourn forever. You don't have to have animosity on your chest forever. Remind yourself that whoever is in your life today is supposed to be there. And whoever is not in your life today was supposed to be out. If you are not subscribed to my channel already, make sure you go ahead and do that. Turn on your notifications and share this video to someone you feel like needs to hear this message. Always remember, grow in peace and success is a journey, not a destination.